You guys know who Hayley Kiyoko is, right? Oh yeah, No, I'm just gonna stop you right there. Of course you don't. She's a pop singer who's not exactly popular, who's made a name over the last few months complaining about people who are more famous. Not that I'd know anything about that. Cough. Anyway, Hayley is a lesbian, and not that long ago, did an interview where she was critical of music industry execs, complaining that she wanted to always do songs and videos about being in love with other women, which she replied, "Taylor Swift sings about men in every single song and video and no one complains that she's unoriginal." Now, as a nihilist, I've come to accept that I'm no one. We all are. But everyone says Taylor Swift's songs about boys are unoriginal. She's basically made 3 songs over and over. Being in love with a guy who's not in love with her, hating a guy she was in love with, and being in love with a guy who is in love with her. Personally, I don't think a year has gone by where I haven't publicly made fun of her for it. Anyway, she wasn't pissed at Taylor Swift there, just at the music industry. And Taylor Swift's toxic fan base and their replies to Hayley, that's got enough material for a whole nother fucking video, but referencing her certainly didn't hurt to get her name out there. So now, hot off that press coverage, she's turned her attention on Rita Ora. My UK audience might be like, "Oi, don't be taking a piss out of Rita Ora, you fucking gobby tit," or something like that. She's pretty well known there. My North American audience, however, might not be that familiar with her. Her biggest hit here was her first single, How We Do. Rita's most recent work is a song with a bunch of other female musicians called Girls. Charlie XCX, BB Rexa, and Cardi B all make appearances to drop a verse about how they like visiting the clam buffet from time to time. But you see, they did it wrong. Much like Halsey is the gatekeeper of who is and who isn't truly bisexual, Hayley Kiyoko has apparently appointed herself the Lord Commander of the Lesbian Night's Watch. Here's what Hayley had to say. "It's important for us as artists to use our platforms to move the cultural needle forward, not backwards. There is a new song that came out today featuring a handful of well-known pop artists that has me overwhelmed with thoughts. I literally have a knot in my stomach right now. No, you figuratively have a knot in your stomach right now. Otherwise, you'd need severe surgery or should stop swallowing shoelaces. To be clear, I fully support other artists who freely express themselves and applaud male and female artists who are opening up more and more about their sexual identities. Except for when she doesn't. But every so often, there come certain songs with messaging that is just downright tone deaf, which does more harm than good for the LGBTQ+ community. A song like this just fuels the male gaze while marginalizing the idea of women loving women. This doesn't marginalize it at all. Marginalize suggests treating them as insignificant, like they aren't really people or important in any way. Figuratively, the song is 4 women saying, "You know what? We fuck women sometimes, it's normal." And who says their intent is to be sexy for men? Rita Ora certainly didn't, in her unfortunate apology, and I say that because I don't think an artist should have to apologize for their work like 99 times out of 100. My female British accent is basically Monty Python, so I won't do that here. But in her apology, she said, "Girls was written to represent my truth and is an accurate account of a very real and honest experience in my life. I have had romantic relationships with women and men throughout my life, and this is my personal journey." She goes on to apologize, but says she's still going to express herself this way. So, that's something, I guess. She's not completely caving. Now, I'm not saying there aren't, quote, tone-deaf ways to talk about these issues. You remember that I Might Go Lesbian song, which, by the way, I think I might actually be responsible for its name being changed? As I mentioned in my worst songs of whenever that came out, that song's lyrics were basically, "I'm tired of guys treating me like shit. I'm so sick of dudes, I might start licking lilies." Which suggests women choose to date women not because they're attracted to them, but out of spite. But Rita Ora's song isn't like that at all. It's pop fluff, sure, but the message is nothing more than, "You know what? Sometimes I like making out with chicks," and apparently getting stoned. But Hayley gets upset because of the line, "Red wine, I just want to kiss girls." She says, "I don't need to drink wine to kiss girls," which I don't think that's what it's saying, but hey, I'm the master of taking lines out of context for my own narrative, so I guess I can't talk too much shit. By the way, here's the lyrics for Hayley Kiyoko's Girls Like Girls, where she literally, used correctly by the way, talks about stealing girls from dudes. And she doesn't think this has a certain sexy feel to it that might, quote, fuel the male gaze? Well, of course not, because it's her singing, right? Just like how she's dressed here. She isn't doing this for dudes, but other women are. So what? You want songs about women loving women to not be sexy because a man might get turned on? Can't wait to see how well a single sells about two women going to buy a couch together for their apartment so they can sit together and watch Antiques Roadshow. Pop music is supposed to be sexy and enticing. But of course, there's a right and wrong way to do that. And Hayley Kiyoko will be the Judge Dredd of that. But I'm sure somewhere there's some even more militant lesbian going, fuck does this bitch know about being a real lesbian? She's a pretty little thing. She doesn't know shit. And so, we arrive at the point of this whole video. It's more of this ridiculous infighting that does nothing to help the LGBTQ ICUP community. It's more gatekeeping that groups like this don't need, that doesn't help to move the cultural needle forward. It makes everyone go, oh, they're all in a clit measuring contest now about who's more real. That does more harm than good for the LGBTQ plus community, because you suggest Rita Ora's feelings are being expressed poorly, or the way she discovered her sexuality isn't the correct way. And if they're not doing it your way, they're doing it wrong. But hey, at least you never said you like to get drunk and kiss girls. Think how much more damaging that would be. So a few years ago, I featured Monika's I Might Go Lesbian in one of my worst songs videos, highlighting the fact that the song is about her deciding she might go lesbian because dudes are being shitty to her, and how lesbians might not be too thrilled about that. She actually posted this comment on my video, though I can't find it anymore, and then posted it on her own video. I'm not going to read it, sorry to my blind listeners, but I'm trying to keep this short. But basically, it's her backpedaling and saying she knows lesbianism isn't a choice, but that she believes that many are actually bi, but just don't come out as such because of the pressures of society. She then also said, FYI, I know bisexual and lesbian are different things. It's an expression, meaning I might go date a lesbian. Haven't you ever heard the saying, once you go black, you'll never go back? Or once you go yellow, you'll want no other fellow? No one's ever said that. Well, same thing, smiley face. It's not the same at all, but again, isn't this as bad? Saying, I was straight until I fucked a woman, now I'll never go back to dudes. Anyway, she then changed the name of the song to I Might Go, brackets, love a lesbian. Although didn't go back and change the actual song, so she's really changed nothing. But, am I responsible for this? Did someone change the name of their song just because I made fun of it? The answer, of course, is yes. Kanye was right. No one man should have all this power.